Welcome. You're tuned into Tangled Threads. If you're digging our content, hit the like button and subscribe. Thank you. The day my wife looked me straight in the eyes and whispered, "I'm taking the kids and you'll never see them again," was the day my world crumbled. As her words echoed in my mind, memories of the precious moments with my children flooded in. The countless bedtime stories I'd read, the laughter we shared during our weekend trips to the park, their tiny hands gripping mine as we crossed streets or simply walked together in our backyard, the joy of teaching my son to ride his bike, and the pride I felt watching my daughter's first ballet recital. Those were my treasures, moments that defined my very essence as a father. Losing access to those memories, to the opportunity to create new ones, was a terrifying abyss I wasn't prepared to face. It wasn't the shock or even the bitterness of the looming divorce that consumed me. It was the sheer terror of losing my children. There were rumors circulating about her affair, but I had no tangible proof. Just whispers in the wind, hushed conversations between friends, and glimpses of uncertainty in her eyes. But her threat was unmistakable. Every lawyer I consulted told me that without solid evidence, my chances of ensuring equal custody were grim. To top it off, she was gunning for alimony, and with my financial situation already under strain, it threatened to push me over the edge. I decided that I needed an ally, a shadow that could dig deeper into the truth, a private investigator. With all the court fees I'd already paid, my budget was limited, but I managed to hire a single agent. His name was Ray, and he seemed to understand the urgency of the situation. However, I knew that two heads were better than one, so I took some time off work to assist him. Day one was uneventful. Ray and I parked a few houses away from my soon-to-be ex's place, alternating our watch. The most she did was take a short trip to a gas station. No suspicious male figure, no secret rendezvous, just her returning with a pack of gum. Day two was much the same. It was on the third day that we struck gold. That evening, she drove out of town to a quaint little restaurant that few locals knew of. I'd never been there with her. Ray and I followed at a distance. My heart raced as she parked and met up with a man. They exchanged a brief hug and a kiss, then entered the restaurant together. Ray discreetly captured photos, and as much as they hurt to see, they were the evidence I desperately needed. But they weren't enough. I needed something concrete, something that would put any doubt to rest. The next day, Ray and I sat in his dimly lit office, the room filled with the musty scent of old books and stale coffee. On his desk was a manila folder, and by the serious expression on his face, I knew he had found something significant. "We've got a lead," Ray began, pulling a photo from the folder. It was a clear image of the man from the restaurant, captured discreetly from behind a newspaper. I leaned in, studying the face of the man who had played a role in tearing my life apart. "Who is he?" "Name's Richard Warren," Ray said, scribbling something on a piece of paper. "Did some digging, and it turns out he's not just a casual acquaintance. He and your wife have known each other for quite some time." The realization hit me hard, but I kept my focus. "Do we have an address?" Ray nodded, handing me the piece of paper he'd been writing on. "Took some time, but I found it. He lives just a couple of towns over. However," Ray paused, his eyes serious, "what we're thinking of doing next is risky. Breaking and entering, even for evidence, is illegal." I swallowed, the weight of our actions pressing down on me. But the thought of losing my kids fueled my resolve. "I'll do whatever it takes to ensure I don't lose my children," Ray sighed, rubbing his temples. "All right. We're not exactly breaking in, per se. We'll just borrow some information. Lisa from the agency can help us with that. We have a plan." Together, we set the stage for the next phase of our plan, each moment bringing me closer to the truth and hopefully closer to my kids. As they approached the man's house, Ray briefed her. The mission was simple: get inside, retrieve something that would link my wife to the location, and get out. They rang the doorbell. A moment later, the door swung open, revealing the man from the restaurant. "Hey, I think I left my charger here the other day when I visited Sarah. Can I quickly grab it?" Lisa chirped, playing the part perfectly. Caught off guard and slightly flustered, the man nodded, allowing her to enter. While inside, Lisa discreetly used her phone to snap pictures of my wife's belongings scattered around the living area. Her favorite magazine, her perfume, and even her clothes in the laundry basket. With the evidence in hand, we were ready. The courtroom was filled with an air of anticipation. The wooden benches creaked as people shifted, awaiting the judge's decision. I nervously straightened my tie, glancing over at my wife, who sat on the opposite side with her attorney. She avoided my gaze, looking down at her clenched hands. "Order in the court," announced the bailiff as Judge Morrison, an older man with salt and pepper hair and sharp, discerning eyes, took his seat. He cleared his throat, scanning the papers in front of him. "In the matter of custody and alimony concerning the Smith family, we've reviewed the presented evidence and testimonies." My attorney, Miss Roberts, stood up, her posture confident. "Your Honor, as showcased by the evidence, it's clear that Mrs. Smith has not been forthright about her relationships outside the marital home. Moreover, evidence of cohabitation can affect the alimony requests." Judge Morrison nodded. "Yes, Miss Roberts. The evidence is clear about the ongoing relationship. Mrs. Smith, is there anything you'd like to add?" She hesitated, her eyes darting towards mine for a split second. "Your Honor, the relationship began after our separation. I never hid anything. But this shouldn't overshadow the fact that I've been the primary caretaker of our children." I felt a surge of anger but held my tongue, waiting for the judge's response. Judge Morrison looked thoughtful for a moment, then spoke. "Considering the evidence and circumstances, the court has decided that Mr. Smith will not be obligated to pay alimony, given the evidence of Mrs. Smith's cohabitation." I exhaled deeply, relief washing over me. But the custody decision still hung in the balance. The judge continued, "Regarding the custody of the children, this court believes that a child's bond with both parents is paramount. However, as Mrs. Smith has been their primary caretaker for the majority of their lives, she will retain primary custody. Mr. Smith will be granted visitation rights every weekend." I felt a sting of disappointment, having hoped for joint custody. Still, the weekend visitations were a lifeline, a chance to rebuild and strengthen my bond with my children. "Both parties are encouraged to foster a positive environment for their children, putting aside personal grievances for their well-being," the judge added, giving a pointed look to both of us. "Order is adjourned," he concluded, bringing down his gavel. The room began to empty, the heavy weight of decisions made hanging in the air. I knew this was only the beginning of a new chapter, one where my children remained my focus, no matter the obstacles. While it wasn't the complete victory I'd hoped for, it was a start, a chance to rebuild my relationship with my children, to show them love, and to ensure they knew their father fought for them until the very end. The scars of betrayal and heartbreak may never fully heal, but in time, the bond with my children would grow stronger. And that was a fight worth every moment, every tear, and every ounce of energy. Hey everyone! First off, I wanted to sincerely thank all of you for the overwhelming support you showed me on my original post. Your comments, advice, and shared stories genuinely kept me afloat during some of my darkest moments. It's amazing how much strength one can draw from kind words and understanding, especially from strangers. Now to the update, life has shifted in unexpected ways. While I still only see my kids on the weekends, our bond has grown stronger than ever. Those 2 days have become our sacred time, filled with pure, undiluted quality moments. Their laughter fills my weekends and echoes in my heart through the week. More than that, though, this entire ordeal pushed me into introspection. When you feel like you've lost everything, it makes you reassess what truly matters. I started attending a therapy group for divorced men, which opened my eyes to the myriad ways we all cope, heal, and grow. Through sharing and listening, I found a renewed sense of purpose and meaning. I've also taken up new hobbies. I started painting, something I never thought I'd enjoy, but now it offers me solace and a way to express my feelings. Nature walks, rediscovering the beauty of books, volunteering at local shelters. These activities filled the void and reconnected me to life's deeper meaning. To those going through similar battles, hold on. Every storm eventually passes, and there's often a newfound appreciation for life on the other side. Remember to seek support, be it from friends, family, or even online communities like this one. You're not alone. Thank you all again for being a beacon of hope when I needed it most. Reading this was a reminder that even in the darkest times, there's always a glimmer of hope. Your dedication to your children and personal growth is genuinely inspiring. What do you think? Let us know in the comments section below. When you subscribe, be sure to click the notification bell. Click here for more Tangled threads.